Hi guys, welcome. Hope everyone is doing good and I hope everyone enjoyed yesterday's cricket match and everyone is excited to see India in finals of the World Cup which is going to happen on Sunday. So looking forward to that. Another news, very happy news, is the Thinkers and Theories series. Okay, so this series is unlocked. So the episode 1 of the series will be released tomorrow at around 7:30 a.m. Okay, so in this way, every 2-3 days interval, we'll be trying to release the videos on a regular basis. Make sure that you learn about the thinker, what theory that thinker has introduced, and how to apply that theory in Indian context as well as global context. By using it regularly in your answers, you will be able to use it with your utmost discretion in whichever paper that you are writing. Okay, so make good use of this program. Now with that, let us get on with the important issues in News in 30 Minutes on 16th of November 2023. Okay, so the first issue of the day is the Prime Minister addresses program marking celebrations of Janjati Gaurav Divas 2023, which is a celebration of tribes and tribal culture, and this is celebrated on the birthday of the tribal hero Birsa Munda. Okay, and the PM launches 2 programs here. The one is Viksit, Bharat, Sankalp, Yatra. Okay, another program is the Prime Minister Janjati, Adivasi, Nyaya, Maha, Abhiyan. Okay, that is known as PM JANMAN. Okay, so let us learn a little bit about this program, because whenever a program is there in the paper or it is making news, you have to understand. Now, as you know, tribe itself is a theme that constantly comes in your prelims. So you should have good amount of work done on tribes, especially on those recent issues that are happening within the realm of tribes and tribal culture. Okay, so now talking about this PM Janjati Adivasi Nyaya Maha Abhiyan. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is basically to ensure, this program is to ensure last mile welfare, delivery and protection. Okay, it is basically to ensure last mile welfare, delivery and protection. Okay, so this is all the welfare programs. It can be in sanitation, it can be in food security, it can be in health. So all this to make sure that these are reaching the last end beneficiaries, and the delivery is focused and the protection of them is focused. This PM JANMAN, that is the Janjati Adivasi Nyaya Maha Abhiyan, is basically focused on PVTGs. As you know, PVTGs means particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Okay, that is what is known as PVTGs. Now, as you know, this program is focused on PVTGs. You should have an idea of what this PVTGs is all about. The question can come directly on PVTGs. Okay, so to have a proper background context about who are these PVTGs. One, the particularly vulnerable tribal groups are tribes within tribes who are more vulnerable. Okay, that is, who are more vulnerable socially, economically, as well as environmentally. Okay, they are more vulnerable. So these are the tribes within the tribes who are to be protected with much more intensity. Okay, so hence they are called as PVTGs. There are around 75 PVTGs. There are around 75 PVTGs in India that is identified, and these 75 PVTGs are present in 18 states or union territories. 75 PVTGs who are present in 18 states or union territories, and they are living in 220 districts, and which come up to around 22,544 villages. Since prelims is becoming more and more factual, it is necessary for you to remember these facts, unfortunately. Okay, so make sure that you remember it over a period of time. Don't try to revise and remember it now itself. Once you keep revising it many number of times, then you will get an hang of these facts. However, there are 75 PVTGs in India across 18 states and union territories, across 220 districts, which come up to 22,544 villages. And the population of PVTGs come up to around 28 lakhs. Okay, and there are 4 criteria. Okay, there are 4 criteria the government uses in order to define a group as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. The first criteria is they have to use pre-agricultural level of technology. They have to have a pre-agricultural level of technology. That is, they have to base their economy on hunting, gathering, and other pre-agricultural activities. The second is they should have a stagnant or declining population growth. Stagnant or declining population growth. The third is they should have extremely low literacy. And the last is they should have economic backwardness. Okay, that should have their subsistence level must be very, very low. That is what it means. So these are the 4 criteria on which PVTGs are classified, or any group are classified as PVTGs. Okay, so basically in 1973 there was a commission called Debar Commission. Okay, and this Debar Commission was the first commission to segregate within a tribal group something called primitive tribal groups. They created something called primitive tribal groups, and in 2006 the government changed this primitive tribal group name to PVTGs. Okay, that is what are the PVTs that you are seeing. And this Janjati, Adivasi, Nyaya, Maha, Abhiyan. Okay, this is basically a program in order to create a welfare delivery and welfare protection of these PVTGs. Okay, so I hope you got an understanding of what these PVTGs are and why the welfare for these PVTGs becomes very, very important because of their pre-subsistence level, economic backwardness, low literacy level, and declining population. Okay, so this is what is the PVTGs. Now, one question for you to post in the comment section is, who amongst the PVTGs have the largest population? Okay, which tribal group which is classified as PVTGs have the largest population? Put the answer in the comment section. You have to do some type of research that itself will trigger your mind to think. That is why I keep asking you such questions so that you post it in the comment section. Okay, so this is about the PM. We are done with this. The PM JANMAN Abhiyan. The next one more program that the Prime Minister has launched is Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Okay, so what is this Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra? Okay, as the name suggests, it is a yatra. Okay, that is, it is nothing but a reaching out program. It's a reaching out program. So here the yatra is taken out to all villages. The yatra is taken out to all villages to make sure there is saturation of central schemes. Okay, there is saturation of central schemes. What does this mean? This means the yatra is taken up to all villages to create awareness. To create awareness about the central schemes so that all the intended beneficiaries, that is all the intended benefits, reach their target beneficiaries in timely delivery. Okay, so one is the target, another is the time. All right, both are concentrated here. So basically this is a yatra that is taken up in all the villages to increase awareness about the central central welfare programs that helps different stakeholders in the villages. Okay, now this starts from districts. This will start from districts that are dominated by tribal groups. Okay, it will start from districts that are dominated by tribal groups, and then it will move to all the other districts and cover all other districts by 25th January 2024. So by the next Republic Day, the target is by the next Republic Day, the yatra is completing all the villages, covering all the districts. So that is what is Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Okay, this is another program. Now, one more statement that the Prime Minister has given, a very good statement, is the Prime Minister has told the degree of development of India depends on the capability to strengthen the 4 pillars of the nation. The 4 pillars of the nation. Okay, so what are these 4 pillars of the nation which needs to be strengthened for the degree of development to be increased? The first is women, the second is farmers, the third is youth, and the fourth is poor plus new middle class. As the poor elevate from their status to the above poverty line, they then become the new middle class. Hence these two have to be seen together. Okay, so these are the 4 important pillars we have to focus if we have to become a developed nation by 2047. Okay, that is what is the Amrit Kal. Okay, so the Prime Minister says that these are the 4 pillars that we have to focus. Now you need not wait for them to ask this. You can use this in any answer. You can use this in your essay to generate dimensions. You can use this in your answer as introduction or conclusion, or within the body of the answer as dimensions if they are asking you regarding the development of India or regarding the trajectory of economic growth in India. Anything, you can keep using this anywhere you want to. Okay, always take such statements given by especially important leaders of the country, which you can state as stated by our Prime Minister. Okay, that will add credibility to this. Okay, so these are a few statements that was given during the celebrations of the Janjati Gaurav Divas 2023 by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. Okay, so this is regarding the first issue. Let us go to the second issue. The second issue is India, US and 12 other IPEF members sign supply chain resilience agreement. Okay, there are 14 countries that are part of this IPEF. That includes India, Australia, US, Japan, Fiji, Korea, New Zealand, Singapore and Thailand, which makes up 40% of the global GDP and 1/3 of the global goods and services trade. Okay, now let me give you a context of what is happening. See, there was something called China Plus strategy. Okay, now this China Plus strategy was created by these companies. The companies, what they tried to do is they wanted to minimize supply chain dependency on China by diversifying their supply, because they were dependent so much on China for the manufacturing and supply of end product. These companies were dictated by the terms of China. Okay, so they came up with something called China Plus strategy, especially during the COVID times. Okay, now this was an informal strategy. Okay, now there from informal, in order to create some formality to give some structure, all the governments have now come up with something called Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. Okay, so this Indo-Pacific Economic Framework is called as IPEF. So it is IPEF for prosperity. Okay, again this is just a formal organization using the same strategy called China Plus strategy. Okay, basically it is to cut out dependence on China, especially in critical supply chain systems. Okay, in critical supply chain systems, for example, it can be electronics, it can be pharmaceuticals. So all these are critical goods and services which China is playing a dominant role. So removing China from the supply chain systems, especially in these critical sectors, is the main aim of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Okay, now you understood what is the main job of IPEF. It is basically to create an alternative supply chain system that is less dependent on China. That is the first one. So this IPEF is basically structured. It is structured on 4 pillars. These 4 pillars are very important. Look at this. One is trade. The second is supply chain. The third is clean economy. Okay, clean economy means basically decarbonization. Okay, and the fourth is fair economy. The fourth is fair economy. Fair economy means regarding taxation and anti-corruption. Okay, so these are the four pillars that is that is structuring the IPEF. Now, why these pillars are important is India has joined these three pillars. India has joined these three pillars, and India has not joined the the trade pillar. Okay, India has not joined the trade pillar. So India is part of the supply chain, it is part of the clean economy pillar, it is part of the fair economy pillar, but it is not part of the trade pillar. Alright, so that is one more thing that you have to remember. Okay, so you understood what is IPEF and what is the structured four pillars of IPEF and how India is part of three pillars and not part of trade. Okay, because India is highly dependent on China on trade, and it has its own reasons for it to stay out of this trade pillar. Okay, the next is if we take IPEF, who are the 14 members? Who are the important 14 members? See, you have to always remember in groups. That is when you will remember the members properly. The first is Australia, New Zealand, Fiji. Okay, the next is Japan, Korea. The next is the Southeast Asian nations. It is Singapore, Thailand, okay, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam. Okay, and then comes South Asia. You have India and Bangladesh, and the last comes the Western country. You have the USA. Okay, so how do you remember this is? One, these are Oceania countries. Okay, these are East Asia countries. These are Southeast Asian countries. This is South Asian countries, and then this is obviously the Western bloc or the North American nation. Okay, so that is how you remember the 14 members. You have Australia, New Zealand and Fiji. Then you have Japan and South Korea. Then you have the Southeast Asian nations. This usually does not have Cambodia. It does not have Cambodia. It does not have Laos, and it does not have Myanmar. Okay, except these three. Okay, all other nations of ASEAN is there. Okay, you have Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines and Vietnam. Okay, you also do not have Brunei. Brunei is not there. Okay, so these are the Southeast Asian nations. Okay, and the next is South Asia. You have India and Bangladesh, and then you have USA. Okay, these are the 14 members of IPEF. So I hope you understood what is IPEF. Okay, what is India's membership regarding IPEF, regarding three pillars, and how it is not part of the trade pillar. And then you also learned about the members of IPEF. All right, so this completes this issue. The next is the Chief Economic Advisor of India has given a statement telling there is need for World Bank's governance indicators to be transparent. Okay, there is something called World Bank's worldwide governance indicators. There is something called worldwide governance indicators, which is known as WGI. Okay, the Chief Economic Advisor tells that these WGI is one very opaque, as well as it is non-transparent. Okay, the second, the Chief Economic Advisor says that there are a lot of hidden biases within this world governance indicators, and the third is it is too complex. It is too complex. So these are the three statements that the Chief Economic Advisor of India has done over this worldwide governance indicators. The reason why this is important is many credit rating agencies, many credit rating agencies will use this governance indicators to rate countries. Okay, so these countries which are rated will then reflect the foreign investment. Okay, because there is a lot of bias towards Western and developed economies compared to emerging and developing economies, because rating agencies use this, which itself has a lot of bias, the rating itself is skewed towards Western or developed economies. Now this obviously will affect the foreign investment that is coming into India, correct? So this is the problem that the chief economic advisor points out. That's why the chief economic advisor says that we need to have a worldwide governance indicators that need to be more transparent. It needs to be more transparent. Okay, so when the chief economic advisor tells about this, you have to, for your preparation sake, go a little bit in depth and understand what are these worldwide governance indicators. Okay, worldwide governance indicators bases its ranking on 6 dimensions of governance. Okay, it bases its ranking on 6 dimensions of governance, and this data is pulled from 1996 to present times. The data is taken from 1996 to present times. Okay, and this 6 dimensions of governance ranks around 215 countries. It ranks around 215 countries, and the data comes from 30 different organizations. The data comes from 30 different organizations. It ranks 215 countries, and the data is updated annually. The data is updated annually every year. That is, it's updated annually since 2002. Okay, from 1996 to present, the data is used in order to rate the improvement in governance. However, the data is updated annually since 2002. So it is ranking 215 countries, and the data comes from 30 different organizations, which is compiled by the World Bank via worldwide governance indicators. Okay, that is the importance of worldwide governance indicators. The next is, what are these 6 dimensions? Again, you have to know these 6 dimensions, so by heart it, not at one go, over a period of time. The first is voice and accountability. Okay, the second is political stability and lack of violence. The third is government effectiveness. Okay, the fourth is regulatory quality. The fifth is the rule of law, and the sixth is the control of corruption. Okay, are you seeing this? These are the 6 indicators. Now look at this. You need not have to by heart this only from prelims angle. The reason why I am telling you this to by heart is you can use this both in one, they can ask you directly in prelims. They can give you a choice of what all constitutes the 6 dimensions of worldwide governance indicators. The next is in mains, you can use them proactively. Okay, you can use them in solving case studies. Okay, if you are a district magistrate, how do you intend to improve the governance in a region? You can use this as the dimensions. In your GS2 paper, governance itself is a separate topic. There itself, one question on governance is always there. So you can use these dimensions as the body of the answer in that governance question. Okay, so irrespective of prelims or mains, this data becomes very important, and that is how current affairs will always help enrich your answer writing as well as your prelims preparation. Okay, so this is the overall background about the worldwide governance indicators. I hope you got this. This is given by World Bank. Okay, it is having 6 dimensions, and the data is being presented from 1996 to the present times. It ranks 215 countries, which the data is coming from 30 different organizations, and the data is updated annually since 2002. I hope you got this worldwide governance indicators. There can be a question that comes. Okay, as I told you, the chief economic advisor is telling that one, it is non-transparent. The reason why they are telling it is non-transparent is there are a lot of sub indicators that are used in this ranking which are not published. Okay, these sub indicators are not published. That is the first problem. The second is there are a lot of hidden biases. One such bias is household survey. Okay, household survey are given low weightage compared to firm surveys. Okay, firm surveys are given high weightage. Okay, this is wrong. Household surveys should have a same weightage as firm surveys, because firms will always look into profitability aspects and then give their own perception of what the governance is. Okay, the third is it is too complex. It is too complex. One example what I can give is, if I take the worldwide governance indicators of control of corruption, if I take this as one of the dimension, if in Eastern Europe, under this dimension, they use 23 different combinations of sources. Okay, look at this. Only in Eastern Europe, they are using 23 different combination of sources to compile the control of corruption. So this creates very high complexity. All right. Hence, the chief economic advisor says that we have to make it more transparent and we have to make it more non-opaque, so that we understand the methodology of the ranking. Hence, we can improve, which in turn will help us improve our governance. Okay, this is the news that is there. Okay, so this completes the issue. The next issue is life over death. Okay, this author basically is arguing that we have to abolish capital punishment. We have to abolish capital punishment. The reason why the author tells this is, we have come up with something called Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Okay, now this is BNS, which is going to replace the Indian Penal Code, which is not yet done, but it is going to in the future replace BNS. And this BNS was reviewed by the parliamentary committee. Okay, and the parliamentary committee could have asked to abolish capital punishment, however, which it has not. That is the argument that the author makes. Okay, however, here it has retained capital punishment. It has retained capital punishment, and it has also changed the definition of imprisonment, life imprisonment. Okay, it has changed the definition of life imprisonment, and here life imprisonment means it is imprisonment for the remainder of convict's natural life. Okay, imprisonment for the remainder of convict's natural life. That is what is life imprisonment according to Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Okay, so overall, when the parliamentary had got a chance, they have not removed the capital punishment, they have retained it. That is the author's argument, that they could have removed it. The reason why the author is arguing to abolish, the author argues to abolish the death penalty is because, one, according to the domain experts. Okay, this is what the author has given to substantiate why we have to remove capital punishment. One, according to the domain experts, the trial court versus Supreme Court, if we see the trend of awarding deaths, here the trend of awarding deaths is increasing, here it is decreasing, or it is nearly zero. Okay, so this is what is the trend that the first trend that the author tells. Okay, the first trend is one, the trial courts, the awarding death is increasing, whereas the Supreme Court it is decreasing. What it tells us is the trial court is under the pressure of morality, under the pressure of the people, the society, and that can lead to them awarding deaths. However, if these cases go towards the Supreme Court, obviously there is commutation of these death sentences, and that can be seen as a decreasing trend of death sentences when it goes to the higher level of judiciary. Okay, so this is the first substantiation that the author makes to abolish death penalty. The second substantiation is the author tells, according to the social scientists, death penalty has no deterrence effect. Death penalty has no deterrence effect. The author says, hence we are seeing the global opinion. We are seeing the global opinion in favor of abolition. Okay, that is why many countries have abolished death penalty. Okay, that is what the author says. So the social scientists say that the death penalty has no deterrence effect. The third is the court awarding death penalty. Okay, the author gives the statistics from 2007 to 2022. The amount of death penalties awarded was only 7. The author also tells in 2023 there was no death sentences at all. Okay, which shows that the trend of awarding death sentences are decreasing overall. So that is the third substantiation. The fourth one, what the author says is as you just saw, life imprisonment under BNS, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhiti, says that it is the remainder of the convict's life. Life imprisonment is the remainder of the convict's life. So this itself, one, acts as a deterrent, okay, and this itself will give enough scope for, it gives enough scope for reform. Okay, it gives enough scope for reform. So these are the four important argument that the author makes, which tells that this necessitates us to abolish death penalty. Let me just summarize. The first point is the domain expert. It says, according to the domain experts who have observed the trend, that lower courts or trial courts are seeing increasing trends of death penalty, whereas as you go into the higher judiciary, the death penalties are decreasing. The social scientists around the globe say that the death penalties actually have no deterrent effect, and global opinion is in favor of abolition of death penalty. The courts awarding death penalty are reducing overall. If we take 2007 to 2022, there are only 7 cases of death penalty, and in the year 2023 there is no death sentences. And the last is the life imprisonment definition that is changed in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhiti itself is a deterrent, because it says that the life imprisonment is the remainder of the life term left in the convict's life, okay, that they have to spend in the jail. So this itself acts as a deterrent, and this gives enough scope for reform. Okay, overall these are the arguments made. So basically, see, one thing what you should remember is criminal justice system is constantly there in the news. Okay, so you have to be very, very thorough with this, especially for the GS2 syllabus. Okay, when we say criminal justice system, it involves 3 important verticals. Okay, it has the police, it has the prisons, and then it has the judiciary. Okay, so this trifecta of all the 3 will create an effective criminal justice system. Okay, and India always follows reformative justice. We do not follow retributive justice. Retributive justice is basically a revenge, which we do not follow. We always give scope to reform. Okay, as you know, the news are always there regarding police reforms, prison reforms, and judiciary reforms. For example, recently they have come up with something called Model Prisons and Correctional Services. Okay, Model Prisons and Correctional Services Act 2023. Okay, so this is a new model act. They are coming up with the model act because prisons is not in the jurisdiction of the central government. So the state governments has to take up these prisons, and they have to create legislations. So central government will only create model acts which can be emulated by the state governments if needed. Okay, however, they have come up with this Model Prisons and Correctional Services Act 2023. So the point I'm trying to make is a lot of issues are revolving around these 3. All right, you have to make sure that you have enough content, because there can be questions both in prelims and mains regarding the criminal justice system. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this. Okay, so this completes today's important issues on 16th of November. Again, I would like to appreciate your support and love, and I would like to again congratulate you on reaching the 2000 subscribers, and I would like to again wish you people to make very good use of Theories and Thinkers series. Okay, I can assure you that it is going to be really good, and I will keep bringing such unique initiatives. The only thing necessary is your support. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and do make sure that you tell your friends and peers about these initiatives. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.